everyone. Welcome to Storytime Live. As you can see, we're in our comfy little PJs. I hope you were able to. If not, wear whatever is comfortable for you today. We just decided we wanted to showcase our favorite PJs. What's on your PJ?
I'm gonna have to show them.
You gotta show them? What's that?
Elsa.
Oh my goodness.
Let it go. Let it go.
Okay.
Can't hold
Now,
it back anymore.
do you think the reason why we decided to wear PJs right now is because our stories for today are very sleep themed? And do we wear PJs when we go to sleep?
Yeah.
All right, so let's start with our first book. Well, that's your book. Well, we're going to start with our book. Okay, so I introduce you. Okay. I would love for y'all to stay here and do this with me, but if it's going to be too much. Okay, so our first book is going to be Time for Bed, Miyuki, written by Roxane Galliez and illustrated by Soun Ratanavanh. I know how some. I know. Okay. Let's see. With the rain of gold on silver hills, sun offers the last light before leaving for the night. The nightingale prepares her nest. Ants gather their provisions, and the toad jumps in a bucket. As the sun slowly hides to watch the moon rise, the bell tower sounds the hour of rest. But where is Miyuki? See, there's the nightingale, and a frog in the bucket. But where's Miyuki? Grace, come on.
Bye.
I know.
Bye.
Miyuki is busy playing and trying to push back time.
Bye.
Grandfather is trying to get her to go to bed. Miyuki, it's time for bed. Not yet, Grandfather. Look, the sun has not yet set. Hold on, I got a little one to get in. Okay. Not yet, Grandfather. Look, the sun hasn't yet set. And I still have so much to do. What do you have to do that cannot wait till tomorrow, Miyuki? Why? I must prepare for the arrival of the dragonfly queen, Miyuki said. She chose our garden to visit tomorrow. Hold on, guys, real quick.
Hold on, guys, quick. Sorry, everybody. This is a little thingy, if you can see. This is my book. We're going to read it, okay? It's called Space Going. Let's read it. Well, a long time ago, another dog got distracted by living. So that's how I do it.
Oh, thank you for pausing for everybody.
I was pausing.
Sorry about that. Thank you.
Mine is not kind of pausing.
Oh, but that was very helpful of you, so thank you.
I was reading a book.
Oh, good. Okay. All right. Why, I must prepare for the arrival of the dragonfly queen, Miyuki said. She chose our garden to visit tomorrow, and she will bring the entire court. Her entire court? Grandfather asked. Yes, it's a very big deal. Can you please help me make a canopy in her honor, there under the cherry tree? Miyuki asked politely. All right, my Miyuki. Then it's time for bed. So Grandfather helped Miyuki make a canopy fit for a queen with fallen leaves, 3 twigs, and a poppy. Miyuki, it's time for bed. But grandfather, I must water my vegetables. All right, Miyuki, grandfather sighed. Water your vegetables, and then it's time for bed. Miyuki watered her carrots, turnips, radishes, and everything else she could reach. How many times did Miyuki go to the well to the garden? Even grandfather stopped counting. Miyuki, the canopy for the queen is completed and your vegetable garden is watered. It's time for bed. Grandfather, I can't sleep now, Miyuki cried. I need to gather the whole snail family together. If they aren't gathered together, I will not be able to sleep. So grandfather helped Miyuki look for the snails and lead them all the way home. Miyuki, the canopy for the queen is complete. Your vegetable garden is watered. The snails are gathered. It's time for bed. But grandfather, I cannot stop now. It's a cold night, and I won't be able to fall asleep if I haven't covered up the cat. Patiently, grandfather waited for Miyuki to cover their cat with a warm blanket. It's really kind, huh?
Yeah, we don't do that with our cat.
No, we don't do that with our cats, but Miyuki really wanted to do that for her cat. Miyuki, the canopy for the queen is completed. Your vegetable garden is watered. The snails are gathered. The cat is covered. It's time for bed. Oh, grandfather, we must dance the last dance of the day to thank the sun for shining so nicely. So grandfather and Miyuki danced. And then Miyuki yawned.
Can I do
How about after? We can totally do that. Why don't we do the books that I promised to read right now? Okay. All right, Miyuki, the canopy for the queen is complete. Your vegetable garden is watered. The snails are gathered. The cat is covered. And we've danced the last dance of the day. It's time for bed, grandfather said wearily. Miyuki's eyes were growing heavy, but there was still so much work to be done. Grandfather, I can't go to bed until I've bathed and brushed my hair. And what will the stars say if I do not have my best pajamas when they visit me? So grandfather prepared Miyuki's bath, brushed her hair, laid out her best pajamas for her to wear. Then Miyuki yawned, and grandfather yawned too.
Sorry, everybody. Quick as I was thinking.
It's okay. Miyuki, the canopy for the queen is complete. Your vegetable garden is watered. The snails are gathered. The cat is covered. We danced the last dance of the day. You're bathed and brushed and dressed. It's time for bed. This time, Miyuki didn't argue. She took her grandfather's hand and followed him. Grandfather tucked Miyuki into bed and kissed her on the forehead.
Am I for the whole day? Can I watch this?
I don't know. We'll see. Grandfather, she whispered, we forgot to do something very important. I know, Miyuki. I have not forgotten. I will tell you a story. Grandfather opened a book and began to read.
No one's not in the body. The body. Sorry, bye. My still has the books.
With the rain of gold and silver hills, the sun offers its last light before leaving for the night. The nightingale prepares her nest. Ants gather their provisions. The toad jumps into the bucket as the sun slowly hides to watch the moon rise. The bell tower sounds the hour of rest. So we end our story just as we began it. But where is Miyuki? Shh. I think Miyuki has fallen. asleep. The end. Do you have some nighttime rituals that you have to do before you slowly drift off to sleep to make sure that you start into your day? I'd love to hear about them. I know we have some. We always have to make sure we sing songs and read stories. Is there a certain tradition your family does together? That's what Miyuki has to do to make sure she does
A
herself.
buddy. A buddy. A buddy. Yes, buddy.
I know. All right, so we're going to go into our next story.
Buddy.
The Guardians of Childhood. The
Buddy.
Sandman.
Buddy.
By
Buddy,
William
buddy.
Joyce.
Buddy, 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 buddy.
No. Oh, I know. All right, let's see. Of course you know the Guardians of Childhood. You've known them since before you can remember. And you'll know them until your memories are like twilight. The first guardian was the man in the moon, and it was he who found the others. The man in the moon watched over the children of earth like a giant nightlight in the sky, and he keeps nightmares away. But when the moon is less than full and bright, who will keep the children safe at night? Here's the man in the moon. I know. Let's see. The man in the moon needed another to help him, so he searched with his telescopes until he saw a face he recognized. He looked once, he looked twice. Could it be? Why, yes, it was the same fellow he had sent to wish to so many once upon a times ago, back when the man in the moon was just a very small boy, back in a time called the Golden Age. The sleepy fellow's name was Sanderson Mansnoozy. You may know him better as Sandman, but he began his journey as just plain Sandy, and this is how he came to be. Say hi, Sandy.
Why do you want people to call him Sandy?
I guess it's short for Sanderson. Okay. The Golden Age had been a glorious time of hope and happiness and dreams that could come true. In those days, Sanderson Mansnoozy was a pilot of a shooting star. He lived inside his star, jetting through the endless seas of time and space, flying past countless worlds. Anyone who saw this shooting star could make a wish upon it, just as the man in the moon had done as a little boy. Sandy would then send back a dream that would help that person make their wish come true, for a wish always begins with a dream. That is why he was so sleepy. He was constantly dreaming. I know. Sandy and the shooting star.
Your body. Why was he sleeping and dreaming?
He just likes to dream. But in this golden age, there was one that could not abide anything good or kind or gentle. Pitch, the king of the nightmares. He had sworn to destroy sweet dreams and shooting stars, and one by one he hunted them down, sailing his nightmare galleon with his dream pirates. He would harpoon stars and drag them to their doom, hurling them into moons, planets, and even the endless darkness of a black hole. Oh, that's Pitch. And so it was Sanderson Mansnoozy and his star. They were near the shoulder of the constellation Orion when Pitch attacked. The Nightmare King lanced the star with his harpoons. For the first time, Sandy knew fear, and his fear only made Pitch stronger. Sandy could not let his star be harmed. He swerved and breached with astonishing daring, and finally broke free. I know. But he lost control of his star, and it streaked through space like a missile, a bullet, a wayward arrow of flame and hope. They tumbled toward a small green and blue planet called Earth. He was certain he would crash. He could hear the laughter of the dream pirates and felt helpless and afraid. He's starting to crash down. But as Sandy plummeted earthward, he heard thousands of wishes, the wishes of children who saw his star streaking toward them. Sandy knew he must not harm a single child. So with all his strength, he guided his star away from the land over a vast sea. Just as he was about to crash, he heard a wish that seemed to come from far, far away. It was bright and clear and kind. "I wish you well," was all it said. So Sandy closed his eyes and dreamed that all would be well. The night sky.
Don't get like there's some mermaids in there.
I know there are, as Sandy said. See, as Sandy is closing his eyes and wishing that everything will be well. Moments later, they crashed into the ocean. The sky was filled with the blinding light of their impact. When the light faded, the star had neither sunk nor exploded. It had become a sandy sort of island with long, spirally tendrils of land, and at the center was a number of steep dunes, and in the center of those dunes lay Sanderson and Snoozy. Look what his star has turned into.
An island.
An island, huh?
Why didn't it turn into an island?
That was the best way to do it, and that happened well. Above his head, sand was swirling into shapes that were peaceful and soothing. The faraway wish had been granted. Sanderson Man Snoozy was well and smiling and fast asleep. From all around came the creatures of the sea. The mermaids were enthralled with Sandy's dream sand, and from the moment on, they were determined to help this little lost man, a fellow traveler, but from the ocean of the sky. There's mermaids.
I don't see a mermaid.
Well, we'll see them in just a minute. On and on Sandy slept, and on he dreamed, until every grain of sand on his island contained a dream. 10,000 dreams and nights and dreams passed. Pitch had vanished, and so had the Golden Age. The world had changed, the island changed, and Sandy had changed.
Why is
Look,
Sandy
as
changed?
time, well, because time changes people, baby. Time just passes on. Then, one night, a moonbeam shined down on him, and he heard the voice from long ago that had wished him well. "I wish that you would help," said the voice. With that, Sanderson Man Snoozy finally woke up. There, in the moonbeam, he could see the man in the moon, who asked, "When the moon's not full and bright, will you keep the children safe at night?" Sandy nodded, for if a wish was made on him, he still felt bound to answer it. Sandy, if you look real close, you can see the man in the moon.
Inside.
Yeah, inside. He walked across the island that had been his star. He thought and he thought, and he wondered and he wondered. How could he help the children of Earth? The sea turtles came to him. Some of them had once belonged to children and knew their fear of the dark. The seashells had even more to tell. Countless children had held them to their ears to hear the call of the sea. So the shells had learned of their secret joys and sorrows. The seashells told him that Pitch's dream pirates still roamed at night in search of sleepy children to hazard. Sandy knew to help the children, he must once again face his ancient enemies. For the second time in his life, he felt afraid. For days and days, his restless mind would not let him sleep. Without sleep, he had no dreams. And without dreams, he could do nothing. Sandy's wondering what he could do to help. But the mermaids knew a way to help their friend. They came from the sea with a sweet lullaby. Dreams, sweet dreams, be in the sand you hold. They banish all the darkling fears and fill the night with gold. The mermaids helped their friend. And so he dreamed. He dreamed of how he would help the children of Earth. And as he did, the island began to transform. A wondrous castle grew all around him. And from the castle, a great cloud of sand carried him into the sky. Sandy's castle in the sky.
And there's only like 3 books.
I know.
2 books left.
Let's see. And on this cloud, he journeyed to every land and to every child who was sleeping. He sent a lovely dream with his dream sand. And from every dark corner of the world, the children asleep slept unafraid. All the nightmares had been chased away. Sandy chases away those nightmares so everyone can sleep easy. Chased away by the dream sand, chased up to Sandy's cloud as they came, he grabbed each nightmare and said, "You are not real. You are not true. You are nothing." And Sandy's fear vanished. So did the nightmares. One by one, they turned harmless to golden dream sand. And for the first time in all of history of sleep on Earth, there wasn't a single nightmare to be had. Yeah. As Sandy is going across and he's grabbing those nightmares and telling them that they're not real, that they're not true, they are nothing. The moon peeked through the cloudy sky and shined down on Sandman Snoozy. "You've granted my wish," the man in the moon said. "Now I shall grant you a name worthy of your talents." Sandy bowed as the moon declared, "From this moment on, you shall be known as His Nocturnal Magnificence, Sandman Snoozy, Sandman, the first High Lord Protector of Sleep and Dreams."
Oh, Mom. That's the longest name.
That is such a long name, huh?
Hiya.
Now, the man in the moon had his first helper. And from that night on, the Sandman made his rounds by the sky, be the sky cloudy or bright, to send forth his dream sand. See, as Sandy is going all over the world to make sure people can sleep and sleep soundly. Have dreams. Now, most every night is filled with sweet dreams. It's rare for a dream sand to miss its proper mark. But if it does, a nightmare might try to sneak into your dream. But you know it's not real. So when you have a good night's sleep and a wonderful dream, you might thank your gentle friend, His Nocturnal Magnificence, Sandman Snoozy, Sandman the First, High Lord Protector of Sleep and Dreams. A longish name to be sure, but worthy of a diligent dreamer. Who started his journey as just plain Sandy. No one sleep with their dreams. Thanks. Yeah. See, every kind.
Book, Mom.
I know there's another book. With any kind act, no matter how small, you can help such wondrous things with just one little step. It took one kind person to help so many. What's something kind you can do?
Love.
Yeah, love. That is an awesome, kind word that everyone can do. All right, that'll be our bonus book. We're going to do this one right now. Okay, so our next book is called The Napping House by Audrey Wood and Don Wood.
I want to be out.
Okay.
I want to be out.
Are you all done?
I'm going to go check on Gray.
Okay. There is a house, a napping house, where everyone is sleeping. And in that house, there is a bed, a cozy bed, and a napping house, where everyone is sleeping. And on that bed, there is a granny, a snoring granny, on a cozy bed and a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that granny, there is a child, a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed and a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that child, there is a dog, a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, in a napping house, where everyone is sleeping. And on that dog, there is a cat, a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, and a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that cat, there is a mouse, a slumbering mouse, on a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, and a napping house where everyone is sleeping. And on that mouse, there is a flea. Can it be a wakeful flea? On a slumbering mouse, on a snoozing cat, on a dozing dog, on a dreaming child, on a snoring granny, on a cozy bed, and a napping house where everyone is sleeping. A wakeful flea. Who bites a mouse? Who scares the cat? Who claws the dog? Who thumps the child? Who bumps the granny? Who breaks the bed? Oh my goodness. In a napping house where no one now is sleeping. Sometimes it just takes that little itty bitty thing to wake up everybody. But they seem to be pretty okay with being wakeful at that moment. All right, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful and safe weekend and that you enjoyed these books. I will be back next week, Saturday, possibly same time. I might change the time, don't know. Again, if you have any book suggestions and if I've got them, shoot them let me know, and I will try to add them to my weekly book reading. Again, hope you enjoy it, and hope everyone is safe. You'll have a wonderful day. Bye.